I have to ask about your meeting with Tim Cook. What exactly did you discuss? Tell us about some of the specific initiatives on the agenda.
So, I think that it is very important nowadays to have these direct conversations between the public administration and also the private sector. And so far, what I think the companies appreciate from the Spanish government is, that we have a vision, that we have also a plan, and we want also to get them involved in a long-term transformation and modernization of my country, of Spain.
So you're meeting with folks from not just Apple, but Qualcomm, PayPal, Zoom, Intel. What did you learn from them that you want to take back to Spain? And what were they curious to hear from you?
So first of all, they appreciate this direct conversation between the public and private sector, because I think it is crucial to have a kind of a partnership between the public and private in order to face all these huge challenges that we are facing as societies. Secondly, I also explained that in the aftermath of this pandemic, we are about to begin this huge modernization of the economy, the Spanish economy, and therefore we're looking forward to have the U.S. investors and U.S. companies to join us. So, I explained the European Union funds that we are going to receive in Spain. $162 million, 40% will be devoted for the next 6 years to green, to the ecological transition, and secondly, about 28% of those funds will be devoted to digitalization. In the end, there's a lot of interconnection between the green and the digital, and that is why I think that there are a lot of opportunities for the US companies, the IT companies in Spain in the future.
Absolutely. So when you think of a company like Apple, did Tim Cook indicate any plans to expand Apple's presence in Spain and what that might involve?
So regarding this 28% of the funds that will be devoted to digitalization, we are going to expand a lot of investment on artificial intelligence. And Apple is very engaged on artificial intelligence in my country, in Spain. Also, we are eager to have a kind of audiovisual hub in Spain to convert Spain in the European audiovisual hub. And therefore, well, Apple TV, of course, is really welcome to join also this initiative. And in the end, what we are trying to aim Spain is, to become leaders on cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and quantum computing, and of course, all related to new technologies. We are also transforming our educational system. We're also transforming and modernizing our vocational training system in order to close this mismatch between the needs of talent that these companies has, and of course the qualification that we can provide from my country to these IT companies. So I think that the conversations were very positive, and we're looking forward to have them on board in this huge transformation that we are facing in Spain.
Meantime, two of Spain's most exciting startups, as I understand it, recently decided to list publicly elsewhere. Allfunds listing in Amsterdam, the EV charger maker Wallbox doing a SPAC in New York. How do you make sure that Spain has the right infrastructure so that these companies can go public at home?
So, Spain is leading the fiber optic network in Europe. We want to lead also the 5G network in Spain and also in Europe. And of course, what we need is to create that talent in Spain. That is why it's so important, all the revolution and the modernization of our educational system and vocational training. And what we did also, and what we witnessed during this year, is the massive investment on startup. So 2.1 billion euros during this year for startups. That is why we consider, and we presented before the Council of Ministers, a new law on startup, which reduced dramatically the taxation, also bureaucracy. We create a specific visa for digital nomads. We are also reforming the insolvency law in order to create this second chance for entrepreneurs. So in the end, what we are trying to do is to create an ecosystem which will allow the startups to grow in my country. And by the way, this week, last Monday, we create for the first time in Europe this Next Tech fund in order to allow startups to scale up in the short term. There will be, this fund will be 4 billion euros, 2 billion euros coming from the public sector and 2 billion euros coming from the private sector. So, we're very excited. I think that we have many opportunities to offer to foreign investors, and this is, one of our major goals, yes.
Volkswagen recently unveiled plans to make batteries and EVs in Spain off the back of your plans to put European recovery funds to work. Are you talking to any other companies about this? Did EVs come up in your conversation with Tim Cook?
Absolutely. One of the main assets that my plan, the Spanish plan, has is that our policy is all coherence. So that is why I mentioned before the interconnection between the digital and the green. And that is why, in our climate goal, we are so committed, and the milestones are so demanding. So we're expecting by the year 2030 to have 74% of our electricity consumption coming from renewable sources. And that is why also we are going to devote at least 2 billion euros on disruptive or green disruptive energy. For instance, green hydrogen. So of course, we are going to devote a lot of resources on digitalization, but also I think that there's a huge opportunity for the digital companies to join us on climate and all these green investments that we are now developing in Spain and executing in Spain.
So speaking of energy, a lot of our viewers are very focused on IFM's purchase of a 23% stake in Naturgy Energy, one of your big utilities. And I'm curious what your feelings are about that. Are you at all concerned about foreign investors having such a significant stake in a strategic company? Can you give us any indication of how you're leaning on this and when we can get an expected decision?
Not at all. I mean, I'm here in Palo Alto in the U.S. precisely attracting or trying to attract foreign investors to Spain, and we're an open country. Spain is the second economy in the European Union in terms of openness to foreign investors, and this is a clear commitment from my side. The only thing is that we have to study this dossier. But of course, it is important to, guarantee that Spain is an open economy, that we are really welcoming all foreign investors.
Okay. Meantime, while you're visiting here, obviously the pandemic is still raging. There are a lot of concerns about the Delta variant. I know there are concerns in Spain. You're putting new restrictions in place. And I'm wondering at this point, are you concerned that a resurgence of COVID is going to hinder your efforts to reopen the economy, to revitalize the tech economy, given that, things don't seem to be getting better in many parts of the world?
Well, but what happens in Spain is, I think, very, very important, very positive, which is that we don't find any kind of rejection from our population regarding vaccines. This week we reached 52% of our total population with that is fully vaccinated. We expect to before the end of the summer to have 70% of our population fully vaccinated. We are now starting to vaccinate the youth. because we focused in the beginning of this vaccination campaign, the people which ages, they are older and of course, most vulnerable to COVID. So, we are expecting a new phase in our fight against COVID, and thanks to vaccines and the vaccination campaign, and thanks mainly to our population, we are, speeding up day by day our vaccination campaign. So we're very positive and I'm very optimistic about, the situation that we will face regarding the COVID in September. One thing that I'm really proud of Spain is that during this last academic year, we kept open 99.5% of our classrooms. So this was something, incredible, because if we compare to other countries, unfortunately they had to lock schools, but we kept open our schools rooms by 99.5% during this last academic year, and I'm so proud of it.
Interesting. As a mother of four, that's really interesting to hear, and also appreciate your sharing the stats on the vaccination rates. That is impressive. We started with Apple, and I want to end there. You mentioned that Apple is investing in artificial intelligence in the country. I'm curious if you can share any more information about Apple's strategy in Spain. Of course, they've got a huge presence across Europe, but what more should we expect to see from Apple in your country?
Well, we expect to have an increased investment of Apple in Spain in the coming years in these two fields. First of all, artificial intelligence, and since we have this huge bet on converting Spain in a kind of a European audiovisual hub, to see Apple TV also, committed with my country, with Spain. But all the conversations that I had with the global companies that I had during this day, the insights and the feeling that I got is that they count on Spain. They see that Spain is a safe country with a good quality of life, and of course affordable and competitive in prices. So I think that we have a great opportunity for both, for the Spanish government, for my country, and also for all these foreign investors and companies. And also my country is a country committed with gender equality, with diversity, and we're also very focused regarding this new education system with STEM for girls and for women. So we are an open country, and we're looking forward to have these synergies with the U.S. investors and companies.